A hostile radar just locked onto the F-16, and a missile was already airborne.
The pilot had only seconds to react, dive or die. At exactly 5:23 p.m., an F-16C from the 421st Fighter Squadron was flying top cover for a U.S. Navy task force. The task force consisted of a Ticonderoga-class cruiser and an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, both operating near Yemen's western coastline. Without hesitation, the pilot pushed the stick forward and yanked the F-16 into a steep dive. Altitude plummeted from 30,000 feet to 15,000 feet in seconds. The maneuver was meant to break the missile's radar lock, but it wasn't enough. The missile had already gone autonomous, locking onto the heat signature. As the missile closed in, the F-16's defensive systems came alive. Flares and chaff bundles burst from the jet's wings, creating a massive infrared and radar cloud. 12 MJU-50B flares and 24 RR-180 chaff canisters filled the sky behind the jet. Yet the SA-6 missile kept hunting, refusing to be easily fooled. With the decoys failing to deceive, the pilot deployed the F-16's ALQ-184 jamming pod. High-frequency jamming signals flooded the SA-6's radar-controlled link. The missile's seeker lost its target lock and spiraled off course. In mere seconds, the F-16 evaded death by electronic warfare. Barely 40 minutes later, the U.S. MQ-9 Reaper flying reconnaissance north of Houthis picked up a fresh threat. Another SA-6 missile launch was detected, this time targeting the unmanned drone. The Reaper's ALR-69 radar warning receiver lit up with hostile signals. With no pilot on board, survival depended entirely on automated countermeasures. Within seconds, the Reaper's defensive system launched countermeasures. 8 flares and chaff clouds were deployed, filling the sky with infrared and radar clutter. The drone climbed steeply to over 15,000 feet, dodging the missile's engagement envelope. But even with evasive action, fragments from the SA-6's proximity explosion still tore into its right wing. News of the attacks reached CENTCOM and the White House within minutes. President Trump ordered a decisive and overwhelming retaliation. Strike groups were tasked with delivering a message the Houthis could not ignore. Within hours, American forces would bring thunder down on Houthi positions. The USS Spruance, a guided missile destroyer, received launch orders just before dawn. Rather than Tomahawks, commanders chose the SM-6, a weapon typically reserved for elite threats. At 3:45 a.m., 2 SM-6 missiles roared from their vertical cells, racing toward Houthi radar and missile positions. Traveling at over Mach 3.5, the missiles struck their targets with devastating force. In the aftermath, 8 Houthi operators were eliminated, along with multiple launchers and radar systems. U.S. forces had sent an unmistakable message: no one shoots at American aircraft and gets away with it. More F-18S from the USS Harry S. Truman were already airborne, ready for follow-up strikes.